Today we'll be speaking to you about lived experience of hearing loss and our co-produced project, Hearing Birdsong. I'm part of the Hearing Birdsong team alongside other people who have experience of hearing loss, as well as designers, audiologists, researchers, and community members. The project is led by Tom Woods from Kennedy Woods, and here are some of our team.
So what brought us together? We were all invited to a Sandpit Innovation Workshop, which is similar to a hackathon. The event brought together different experts, including those with lived experience of hearing loss, some from within the hearing world and some who were new to it. On the first day, we worked in a small group to discuss issues around mild to moderate hearing loss. People with hearing loss were part of the team to organise the event, to assure it was accessible. We had a live palantypist, a microphone and speakers, and chose the venue as it had carpets and good lighting for better acoustics and lip reading.
A live illustrator, Annie Straus, illustrated the discussions that we had so that we could visualise the problem better. Hearing loss is a huge problem globally, with the Lancet reporting today that maybe 1.6 billion people are affected by hearing loss globally. And in the UK, it's estimated that 12 million people are affected by hearing loss, with 9 million of those being undiagnosed and having no access to the technology that could radically change their lives and the lives of those that they live with. Actually, there's stigma around wearing hearing aids, with people believing from vision of their parents or older relatives that hearing aids are large, visible, and of not much use. But things have changed recently, and their technologies can really greatly support people with hearing loss. Now, one of the problems that's been reported to us is that some people are put off by having a hearing test because of the sounds, the pure tones, beeps that people hear.
Hello, I'm Angela. I attended the Sandpit event, bringing with me my experience of hearing loss and that of teaching children with special educational needs and disabilities. Many of these children had hearing loss too. I shared with the group how I gradually lost the sound of birdsong that I love so much on my daily walk in the woods. This loss encouraged me to have my hearing tested. Now I wear hearing aids. Now the symphony of birdsong has returned to me.
That evening I was reflecting on Angela's story and thinking on how we could use the sound of birdsong to raise awareness of hearing loss and to encourage people to seek help when needed. I then worked with Angela, a researcher and another community member with hearing loss, to further develop the idea. Lots of different teams pitched ideas to a panel, and our team were lucky enough to win $7,000 to bring the idea to life. In time for World Hearing Day 2019, we developed this design. A recognisable yellow bird box which contained technology allowing us to emit an immersive forest soundscape full of familiar birdsong. Our birdsong have been modulated so that each song occupies a very specific band of frequencies, and these frequencies replicate those experienced during a traditional hearing test. We held a free exhibition of the bird boxes and enticed passers-by with free coffee. They could explore the installation and read information about hearing loss while enjoying the sounds of the birds. We had friendly community members flyering in the streets to encourage people in, and trained staff who could chat to visitors about hearing loss or sign them up to have their hearing tested at the hospital the week after. Although the pop-up was based in a hospital campus, visitors still fed back to us how relaxing the experience was and how much they enjoyed the non-clinical environment.
As well as giving people information about hearing loss to take away with them, We also had feedback forms to gather insights from the public about how to improve the concept further for future iterations. The next phase of the project was to engage with those who might be more likely to have undiagnosed hearing loss, such as people from older, isolated communities or those from deprived backgrounds. As the frequency of birdsong was similar to those that you lose in age-related or noise-induced hearing loss, we decided to speak to working-class men over 50. They are a group who are seldom heard and might be less likely to engage with the health of their hearing. They are also likely to be at higher risk than other older people, as they might have had jobs that could have caused noise-induced hearing loss. We first reached out to community leaders of various community groups and attended coffee mornings to build trust with a group of older men. Then we held a workshop to talk about their lived experience and asked them, how could we make hearing birdsong events more appealing to older men? Where might we hold the installations and at what time? And what data would be appropriate to collect from visitors?
For World Hearing Day 2020, we had installation in the area of London, which was very ethnically and socio-economically diverse. We used community menus where there was a good footfall, and we had used events in the cafe garden, in an empty shopping unit in a shopping center, which was next to large supermarket.
It was lovely to be able to engage with people on a personal level. Attracting them into the installations, we gave out hot drinks and tote bags, and I was able to offer them advice, and if they wanted, a hearing screen using the Hear Check. Over 4 days, we had over 250 visitors and screened 40% of those that attended. Of those that filled out the feedback form, 79% were encouraged to get their hearing tested or would encourage others to do so. 29% were from a Black, Asian or minority ethnic group. 38% identified as male, and 38% were over the age of 50. This highlights how the installation has the potential to facilitate behaviour change in hard-to-reach groups with unattended signs of hearing loss, and therefore encourages early identification and intervention of hearing loss.
So what's next for Hearing Birdsong? Because of our interdisciplinary team, we have lots of ideas on what the future might hold. For World Hearing Day 2021, we've created a pilot digital version of the experience, which we hope will help to reach more people internationally. We are potentially going to explore a more advanced digital product. However, we are conscious of losing the beauty and non-clinical feeling of the installations, or the threat of excluding those without access to the internet. We will be thinking about ways we could roll out future face-to-face experiences, as well as having an educational arm to the project.
Our take-home messages. Work with people with lived experience to ensure your projects are novel, relevant and not off-putting. Innovative approaches can help to engage those who might not normally engage. Raise curiosity in people so they are intrigued to find out more. Work with trusted community leaders to reach underrepresented communities so you can work with them to ensure your project is designed to their needs. Go where people are, rather than expecting them to come to you. Storytelling is a powerful tool. An old Native American proverb reads, "Tell me a fact and I'll learn. Tell me the truth and I'll believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever." Thank you very much for listening to our talk, and please do join our mailing list at www.hearingbirdsong.com and follow us on Twitter at Hearing Birdsong. And a huge thank you to our multidisciplinary team and of course our funders who are on the slide now.